A lot of snow is coming with a big time storm brewing for the weekend. So let's walk you through the setup going forward. This morning, we've got a clipper system, complements of a northwest flow that's bringing some colder air across portions of the Ohio Valley into the Northeast. In fact, it was actually snowing this morning into Chicago. But out west, we've got this ridge of high pressure that's moving inland. That's also bringing an atmospheric river coming in off the Pacific Ocean. In fact, yesterday, Portland, Oregon hit an all-time December high temperature of 65 degrees. And that warmer air is slowly going to be shifting from west to east all throughout the week. So here's the setup this morning on the surface map. You can see kind of the changeover. This was kind of a wet snow. It didn't stick or anything, but there were some snow showers in this morning, in and around the Chicago region. And you can see the blue line. That's that colder air. And this will kind of shift over. So don't be surprised if you see some snow showers into portions of Ohio and back into West Virginia. This could even get into DC later on this afternoon. Not expecting much, but still you could be seeing, some light snow showers coming out of the sky later on this afternoon. So if you are new to the channel and like detailed weather breakdowns, hit the subscribe button and you're in. You get all my daily content on this channel, and I would love to reach 225,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And you can help me get there by subscribing to the channel and following all my daily content. So let's walk through the setup for tomorrow. So we've got that clipper system that's coming through now. So by tomorrow, that's going to be slowly shifting further into these areas across the Northeast. There's going to be some drier air on the backside. All this brown shaded area that's coming in from the Southwest, that's a warm wind. And these temperatures are really going to start to elevate. But even still on Wednesday, you're still dealing with that heavier rains, especially in and around Washington and Oregon, with that atmospheric river that it's unfolding right now. But by the time we head into that Thursday time frame, that's when most of the country, with the clipper system that's still impacting the East Coast, but it's slowly going to be shifting off, that ridge of high pressure will be over a good part of the lower 48. And we're talking numerous plenty warm conditions, 20 to 25 degrees above average, while we're waiting for our storm to just now come ashore off the West Coast. So you can actually see this by your Thursday afternoon time frame. That is our storm system. It doesn't look like much, but this one will be the big time player, especially as we head into the weekend with severe storms. And then, some heavy snow going to be unfolding across a good part of the upper Midwest. So here's the storm system. And as this atmospheric river slowly subsides, we've got yet another one that's building right behind that one. And that one could be significant for the West Coast as well. So if we expand the view and take a look at the setup out in the Pacific Ocean, you can see the setup by Thursday. There's that really intense, another atmospheric river event that's just waiting in its wings. So this last one was particularly an all rain event because, elevation snows are above 9,000 feet right now up there in that region. But this one's going to have a little bit more colder air associated with it. And as this comes ashore, and it's likely not going to do that until sometime on Saturday, but this one could be significant. The lowering of the snow levels likely go down to about 3,500 feet with this one. So we're talking very intense, heavy snow into the higher Cascade regions at the lower levels in Seattle, into Portland. Those areas could just get crushed again with another significant event that's likely going to last Saturday all the way into that Sunday time frame, as our main system that we're going to be highlighting comes ashore and is going to be diving into portions of the Rockies. And that one's actually going to bring some colder air aloft too. So this is the 850s. This is about 5,000 feet up in the atmosphere. So this tells you it's got some colder air associated with it. And with that colder air, it's going to bring more snow for the Four Corners regions and out here towards the Rockies But notice the warmer air out ahead of it, right? That's where this system is going to be able to tap into and likely produce severe storms out here towards East Texas into the southeast, heading to your Saturday afternoon time frame. So let's look at the temperatures. Let's really break this thing down for you. This is Saturday morning, right? So we've got the cold front. Look at the leading edge of that cold front. It's already impacting Amarillo with freezing temperatures. It's going to be right on the doorstep of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. This is Saturday morning. And look at the warm sector, right? Down here in southeast Texas, those are upper 60 temperatures while we're waiting for this system. So underneath that, we're already well into the 20s, 22 degrees there in Denver. It's likely going to be snowing as you're making the transition, but look at the warm sector surging all the way up here and towards Illinois, well into the 50s for low temperatures. So we're talking a massive transition that's going to be taking effect with this particular storm track. So here's the setup heading into your Saturday time frame, Friday afternoon, Saturday time frame. That snow should be inundating a good part of Aspen into Vale and those areas, but then likely going to be shifted over into Denver, back into the Colorado Springs region. And that's the same system that's likely going to be shifting further south into the Santa Fe region and eventually start entering portions of the Texas Panhandle. So, and as it does, it's got some pretty intense upper level winds as this system will be diving. It kind of takes a little bit of a U shape and it kind of has that buckle look, and then it's usually the out ahead of it, that right quadrant there in the southeast side. You've got to be concerned about shear happening at the lower levels, and that's where we could be seeing all three modes of severe storms, especially some isolated tornadoes across this region into East Texas, into portions of Arkansas, into Louisiana, heading into your Saturday afternoon. And right now, the Storm Prediction Center has actually already highlighted this for Saturday. I think everything is going to be east of Dallas, but if you live in East Texas, if you live in Southeast Texas, if you're up here towards the Little Rock region, down here to Shreveport, into the Lake Charles region, you need to be on high alert for severe storms, likely all three modes of severe storms, especially an isolated tornado threat down here in this region into Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening time frame, as the low will start to deepen. So as it does, here's the surface map heading into Saturday afternoon. So I think it's all rain into East Texas, Louisiana, into Mississippi, back into Arkansas, towards Missouri. It's going to start off as all rain into Illinois, into portions of Indiana. Now, right now, there are some timing differences, and that's fairly normal. So here's the European as of right now heading into Sunday morning. So as we go into Sunday morning, this low, look at this, 994. So this low is going to be rapidly deepening up here into the upper Midwest. And as it does, we're going to start to see the evaporation cooling take place. And remember, I showed you the low temperatures in the 50s up there in Illinois. Now, by the time you get to Sunday morning, things are going to be rapidly changing in a big way as all the evaporating and cooling, and as that low pressure center will start to deepen, things change big time. Now, the timing of this is huge because the GFS is actually much faster. It's about 12 hours faster. That's a huge separation. Remember, I told you this system didn't even hit land until Thursday, right? So there's some differences right now this far out, obviously, with timing, because it hasn't even actually come ashore yet. So timing makes a huge difference than with the earlier release. Obviously, this is further westward, right? So it's an earlier track. It pulls. It has the same low pressure, but it pulls in the pulls in the colder air much faster. And if it does, that gives you a 12-hour head start where all this could be snow versus just rain, right? So yeah, we could be looking at some heavier snows in this vicinity of Missouri, back into Iowa, back into portions of Wisconsin. If the Euro's right, it's likely going to be in northwestern portions of Illinois as this low pressure starts to continue to rapidly deepen. So, and as it does, this is the setup by Sunday afternoon. Notice it's already down to a 986, right? So that's a pretty intense low pressure. And then all this will transfer to heavy snow. You could be looking at even some lake effect snow bands coming down from, well, Milwaukee down here towards the Chicago region, as this system will slowly keep moving across out here towards the East Coast. You've got a warm front, and this is going to be pretty significant. So it's got warm air along the coastal regions lifting further north, cold air right around that upper level low, and then heavy snow, even some lake effect snows across Wisconsin, up here towards the upper Great Lakes, down here towards Illinois, and shifting into Indiana by then. And as the low pressure deepens, those winds are going to really start cranking up big time with the tight isobars. So all these areas across the southeast into the East Coast, you're looking at 30, 40, upwards to 50 mile per hour wind gust as we head into Sunday night. But the low continues to deepen. And as it does, those winds are going to continue to intensify. Look how tight the isobars are. Now we're talking a 971 millibar rapidly deepening low pressure with intense heavy snows falling across Michigan by then, and that may shift over just sporadic snow showers into Ohio, into West Virginia. But there's the warm front into the Northeast and back into New England. So these areas across Vermont and New Hampshire, back into Maine, that just got crushed with all the heavy snows the last couple of days. Now we got all the rain coming in. So then you got all the snow melt on top of that. So definitely concerned about flooding concerns up here. But not only that, as we head into later into Sunday night and heading into Monday morning, as the intense winds, we could be looking at widespread power outages up here with these tightening low pressures, 971 millibar, right? That's a deepening low, folks. Very intense snow right around that low pressure, where the other low pressure is that's coming up the eastern seaboard and up here towards the northeast into the north, into New England. Yeah, those are 50, 60, upwards to 70 mile per hour wind gust Monday morning. So this could be a nightmare scenario, likely possibly with widespread power outages while you're trying to make it to work on Monday with those 50 to 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts underneath here into portions of Long Island, into Connecticut, into Rhode Island, down here towards Massachusetts, up here for Vermont and New Hampshire, and back up here into Maine. But even where that other low pressure is, where this heavier snow is going to fall, yeah, you could be looking at almost blizzard-like conditions happening across Michigan by then, and even down here into the upper Great Lakes. So it's going to be a pretty intense storm, but I think it all gets going, and it starts with severe stuff during the day on Saturday, but then Sunday is the big time snowstorm that's going to unfold across these regions, and it's still deep and it's still getting stronger into Monday afternoon as this rapidly lifts out and out of New England. It's still affecting eastern portions of Canada, back into Ontario, into Quebec with the heavier intense snow. So they're likely going to be seeing power outages up here as well, as that snowstorm will start to wind down by then, but that won't be until late in the day on Monday. So guys, I appreciate you guys watching. Do like this video, definitely hit the subscribe button, and catch the next update where I protect you before and after the storm.